Welcome to all for a new batch. Okay, so this one is for advanced Python, that we are supposed to be discussing in great detail the advanced concepts of the Python. As we done the core Python हम लोगों ने कर लिया है in great detail. I hope you did practice a lot for the same. Now we are moving for the advanced part, that is the advanced Python. Okay, in advanced Python we will cover the concept of the classes, because this is the highly required concept. Whenever you are delivering a product level code, okay, or the production level code, your code is converted into the classes. The rest of things are same. Everything is same, but what we are doing, we are covering them into a concept of the classes. So we will learn the new topics about the classes. We will learn the various features about the classes. And after that classes, we will understand the concept of the the inheritance, okay, polymorphism, okay, and you can say the other concepts are as well available into this, that is the abstract classes, okay, and then these are the related concept of the classes, okay, because these classes is very itself a very huge topic, and it will take some time. Approximately, if we do on the regular basis, then the time would be taken to complete all these things, minimum 15 to 20 days. This much time is required for the same. And I will give you the optional topic that is not mentioned into your syllabus. Okay, that topic name is called multi-threading. Okay, multi-threading. So till now I am not giving the surety for this topic, but yes, this one is again a very interesting topic. Used sometime or sometime it's not used. It depends upon the situation to situation, what situation is there, and according to situation that you are supposed to perform this kind of thing, that is multi-threading. Okay, and the mode of the communication would be the mixed. Okay, so we will follow the English as well as Hindi mode. We will try to cover all the concepts in both of the modes, English and Hindi. And after that, after covering all these things, because now you can say, after doing these kind of things, now you can say I have good knowledge about Python. So I know about the core Python. Now I know about the advanced Python. And after covering all these things, then our journey will be start to the machine learning kind of things. So machine learning is not part of this syllabus. So for specifically for the machine learning, we will do the prerequisite for the machine learning into this syllabus, and that is the NumPy, okay, pandas, and then we will cover the matplotlib and Seaborn. After learning these prerequisite of the machine learning, because it is also taking some time, that 15 to 20 days as well, because we are doing into the great detail. And after learning all these topics, now the prerequisite of the machine learning is done, because these are the highly required topics. And when I talk about the production level code, in the production level code, we are supposed to put all these things into the classes concept. Okay, so after learning all these things, we will learn about these things. These are the prerequisite for the machine learning and the data analytics kind of things. And after when we will cover all these things, okay, when we will cover all these things, then your syllabus is completed, and we will cover try to cover one or two projects. Okay, one or two projects specifically into the data analytics. Okay, we will try to cover all these projects. And in the meanwhile, whenever we learn these things, we will try to solve some small use cases as well. The entire thing will be the practical scenario based. Okay, so theoretical is also there and the practical things are also there, because some of you are not aware about the concept of the classes. First of all, I have to give the theoretical part of the same, then we will move to the practical part for the same. Okay, so instead of this topic, I will cover some more topics as well, and it depends upon the situation as well. But these are the majorly, the major topics of your syllabus. The classes, inheritance, polymorphism, abstract classes, and multi-threading is optional. I am not giving the surety for the same. Will I cover it or not? It depends upon totally on the situation. Okay. And after covering all these, then we will give for the prerequisite of the machine learning, that is the NumPy, pandas, and then your matplotlib and the Seaborn. So we will cover all these things into the great detail. Okay, and this one is the part for the advanced Python. Okay, so I elaborated this syllabus like this. Some of people, if you check out from the internet, advanced Python, they convert the advanced Python into the into the this concept. They cover the classes. Okay, I'm not sure they are covering the classes or not, but they may primarily focus on the web development. Okay, they cover the Flask and Django. So I'm not interested into the Flask and Django, and my major motto is for the machine learning and the data analytics. So in my advanced Python, so I cover all these things which are highly required for the machine learning kind of things. Okay, so that's it for this content what we are going to be discussed today, and I hope you guys work a lot and did the practice a lot for this core Python, because the rest of the things are same. The logics parts is exactly same that we discuss into the core Python. Your list, your dictionary, your tuples as well, they are exactly same, but new things are coming into the picture. That picture is called the classes. Okay, but that is a very basic fundamental to enter into the concept of the advanced Python. Okay, so I am starting with this classes concept. Okay, so now the question is, what is class? What is class? The one of the most important question. The class mean that I am combining, okay, functions, member functions, data, okay, data and your variable, you can say, into a single unit. Okay, into a single unit. Earlier that we discussed about the function concept in great detail in our core Python. What we did into the function, we make a one function, we made another function, we designed a different function. Let's suppose the function 1, function 2, function 3. Okay, now these functions are separately available. Okay, for example, this function is add function, this function is multiplication function, and this function is division function. So these are the separate function. Now what I am doing, I am combining all these functions. And put all these functions into a single unit, and that unit is called class. So I'm making a name to this unit. Let's suppose the calculator. And now when I'm making the object of the calculator, okay, indirectly I'm saying that I am calling all these. Whenever you are holding calculator, it doesn't mean that you are holding only plus operator. That means you are holding the entire operation which are available, the plus, minus, modulus, multiplication, divide, and all. That's the same thing like this in the case of the classes. Whatever we learned till now into the core Python, now we are wrapping up into a unit, and that unit is called classes. Okay, but yes, it gives you some extra features as well, because classes provide you the security, okay, code reusability. Okay, so these are the best feature of the classes, and there are another many features that we will discuss step by step when we will proceed into this particular syllabus. Okay, so now this one is the basic definition of the classes, what exactly the classes is. Now I am moving for the technical definition. Okay, in the Python, if I talk about the Python, okay, everything is an object. Yes, in the context of the Python, if you talk about anything, that would be treated as a Python. For example, a plus b. So this is treated as an object. This a is an object. This b is again an object. Okay, this plus is again an operator. That is also the object. Okay, so in Python everything is object. Yes, in Python everything is object. For example, you write this x is equal to, let's suppose, Sam. Okay, Sam. So this one is the object of the string class because this belongs to the string. Okay, this one is the object of the string class because it belongs to a string. Inside Python everything is object. Okay, so to create a object, if I want to say to create a object, yes, I create an object of the string class. For creating an object, when you type this type of x, you will get a class of str. That's mean this x is a object of string class. Yes, we see n number of times this concept, that is the type of x, then you are getting a class of str. Okay, To create an object, we require some model or plan or blueprint, which is nothing but called a class. What exactly meaning of this? What I say right now, you are making an object. Okay, you are making an object of a string class. How you are able to make an object of a string class? Because there is a class. That class is called str, and this one is the blueprint of this class. If I want to find it out, the definition of this, okay, what exactly the SAM is, the SAM belong to the string class, and this is technically called the blueprint. Okay, blueprint, which is nothing but a class. Okay, and what we can do, we can write a class to represent the properties and actions of object. Whatever actions that you want to associate with this class, with this object, basically whatever actions, what are the methods, what are the attributes that you want to associate with this object, you have to be defined over here. For example, if I elaborate one simple method, x.split. What is this? This split is the method of string class. This one is a string object that we already defined, x is equal to SAM. Okay, now I am splitting it. As we know very well in great detail what exactly the method split. That method is the, this one is the object. With the help of this object, that you are supposed to process the method of str class. So what exactly there? If it is a string class, here the split method is there, and you are using this method with the help of this object. How this method is get the definition? This method is getting the definition from the string class. Here the purpose is defined that whenever you are using this object method, the role of this one is on the situation, whatever that you define, because this is the predefined for classes and predefined method. In this case, that you are using this split, and this split is responsible to split out your text on the basis of the spaces if I didn't pass any parameter. Okay, so now you guys are little bit familiar with the classes and with the methods as well. Earlier, exactly same. These are the function, randomly placed function, the function 1, function 2, function 3, function 4, function 5. These are the function. Now I place them into a one unit, and now these function become the method. This is the only difference. This is the only difference between the function and the method. Sometimes interviewer can ask the question, what is the difference between method and function? This is the only difference. That's it. Earlier the function is available globally. Now that function is not available globally, that you are placing that function into a class. Now that function becomes the method of that class. The terminology, the naming conventions are changed. The rest the things are same. The functionality is exactly same. Okay. So hence class contain both the variables, okay, both variables and the methods. Okay, methods. That's it. For example, this one is the Sony TV class. Okay, Sony TV, the Japanese technology. Japanese provide you the blueprint. Okay, they provide you the blueprint. They provide you the way how you can make a model for the Japanese TV. Okay, so this one is developed into the Japan, and they give you the blueprint for the same, and you are making the object, and these objects are, let's suppose this one is the class for the model ST101. Okay, now these are the object of that class. Okay, yes, multiple objects can be there. These are the object of that class which contain all the functionality, whatever the functionality you define over here, they are acquiring all. So this is just layman terminology to understand the concept of the classes as well. So I think now the little picture is clear about you, what exactly the function or what exactly the class is. Okay, so now the question is how we can define a class inside your Python. Okay, so class is a keyword. Yes, it's a keyword that whenever you will use this keyword, the interpreter will understand, okay, this one is a class, and then after with the space you are supposed to tell the name of that class. For example, class, okay, class name. The name can be anything. Okay, name can be anything, whatever name that you want. You want to say over here Bhupinder, Karan, okay, you can take over here. And after that, it is mandatory that you are supposed to put these colons. Yes. And whenever inside Python the colons, it means that the scope begin from here. So it is expecting number of lines which are associated with this class. As we know very well, when you define a function, let's suppose the function name, okay, xyz, after that you mark this colon. Now your interpreter is understanding, okay, there would be some lines who are associated with it. The same, exactly same, the indentation is exactly same that you have to be follow. Tab indentation, okay, tab indentation. I am writing neatly class, okay, class name can be anything, okay. And then this one is the optional which I am writing now. This one is the doc string, okay, doc string. So you can write over here just for the information, okay, just like a comment. So here that you can write this is student class, like this, only for the information, okay. This one is student class, okay. So you can write this. Anji, sorry, your voice is not coming, Karan. Okay, just wait for a second. Now fine. Now fine. Anyone else facing the same issue that my voice is cracking? So I think the problem is your side, Karan. Okay, please check. Okay, so this one is the doc string. Okay, this one is a doc string, and this one is the optional step. It is not required. It is just for the information that you guys are displaying the information to the user. Okay, this class is meant for this purpose. That's it. It is optional step. Okay, so how I can define a class? Very simple terminology. Okay. So here the class, okay, and then the class name, let's suppose you put the name student, okay, student, and then that's it. Okay, inside this that you define whatever you want to do. Okay, so these are the number of steps that you have to be follow. This one is exactly what you want to place into this class. Okay, just if I elaborate this concept one more time into the layman term, class is just like your Almira. Okay, class is just like your Almira. In Almira there would be one shelf. Okay, there can be a 2 shelf or 3, or can be multiple shelves are there. So understand it. That means you are organizing your data. Okay, you are organizing your data in shelf 1. Let's suppose this one is the bottom one. Here you place your shoe. That's it. Here in the shelf number, let's suppose this one is the 0, this one is the shelf number 1. Here you place your clothes. Okay, in shelf number 2, let's suppose you place your, let's suppose, books, or you can say the gadgets. Okay, so this one is the just like a Almira. Okay, in Almira there is the doors are also available. Okay, the doors are also available. So this one is the locked. Okay, so how I can process this data? How I can, if I want these shoes, it means that I organized my data. That's it, exactly same. I organized my member function, I organized my variable, I organized my, you know, the you can say the methods as well. So I organized the data into the proper format, and class is a combination of variables, functions. Okay, you can place anything. Now you can check it out. Here you place the shoes, here you place the clothes, here you place the books. You can place anything. Now if you want something from this almirah, first of all that you are supposed to open this almirah. Okay, you are supposed to open this almirah. For opening this almirah you need a key. You need a key. With the help of this key, then you are supposed to open it and you are supposed to use these clothes. So technically this term is called class and this key is called object. With the help of object, I can process the member variables, I can process the methods, okay, I can process the various other terminologies, okay, whatever that you place inside this, static members, class members, okay, anything. Okay. So okay, so I think now the picture is clear to everyone, the basic terminology. Now you can relate this example in the context of the classes as well. Okay, so I am moving ahead for the little technical terms into this, then I will show you the entire syntax for the classes as well. Okay, so in the Python classes we can represent data by using variable. Okay, we can represent the data by variables. If I talk about the variables which hold some data, let's suppose a is equal to 10, b is equal to 20. These are the variables. Okay, so there are three types of variables are allowed. Three types of variables are there. The variable number one, okay, the types of variable, basically understand this point in the context of the Python classes. So the variable number one, instance variable. Yes, instance variables. Okay, or you can say the object level variables as well. Object level variables. Okay, now the variable number two, these are the static variable. Okay, static variable, and these are called class level variables. Okay, class level variables. And the third term is local variables. Okay, local variables. Now these are called method level. So inside Python, inside Python class, we can represent operations by using methods. Okay, and these are various types of variables which are available. Okay, if I talk about the concept of the classes in great detail in the Python. And again, I already told you the variables and methods. Okay, and methods. So here again three types of methods are there that we will describe each and everything in great detail. Okay, so I am just making your foundation. So the one variable is, the method is instance method. Okay, instance method, and another is class method. 90% this class method, the developer don't know about these class methods. Okay, I will describe in great detail. So another one is the static method. So as I already told you, class is collection of variables and methods. That is the combination of variables and method. Again, if I define the types of variables inside Python, so we have instance variable, we have static variable, we have local variable. And this instance variable is also considered as an object level, static class level, and local method level. So again same, if I elaborate the concept of methods, okay, again the methods are again three types: instance method, class method, and your static method. So this one is the basic terminology in the context of classes. Okay, if I define the classes into this context. Okay, so now I think you guys are familiar with the terminology, but not technically. So these are the basic foundation for the classes. If I talk about classes, so I have to be maintain all these things. Okay, these are the same exactly variable, don't worry about it. But yes, there is little difference that it become the instance variable, it become the static variable, it become the local variable, it become the instance method, class method, and static method. The rest of the terms are same, that you are supposed to use the dictionary over here into the method. Yes, you can use the list over here. Yes, you can use. The foundation is not there. But yes, whenever we define these terminologies, okay, these things, then the behavior of your method is changed. That's it. This is the important one. Just like class, inside class, okay, inside class, let's suppose I divided a data into three groups. I divided a data into the three groups. The one group belongs to the instant method, the second belongs to the class method, and the third belongs to the static method. And the same thing over here. Let's suppose inside class I again divided the variable into the groups. The one group is the instance variable, and these are the object level variable. Obvious object level variable mean which are responsible, which are processed with the objects. The static variables, I again describe the static class level variables. Okay, and the local variable mean that method level variables. That's it. Okay, now the time to proceed further. These are the basic terminology that we will use into the great detail. But don't worry about it. We will understand these things into the in depth. Okay. So till now, I think the picture is clear to everyone for this point of time. Any question for proceed further? So let me know. Okay, thank you. So I'm moving ahead. So I'm showing you one syntax for the classes as well. Okay, demo for the classes. So my class name is class student. Okay, so I'm making a student class. So let's suppose this one, as I already told you, this one, the step is the optional, developed, okay, by, you can say your name. Okay, so I'm writing my name, well, by Nitin, okay, for Python demo. That's it. So this one is the optional. Okay, if you don't want to write, don't worry, you cannot write it. Okay, this one is a doc string. But yes, in production level, in production, okay, in production you must have write these kind of terminologies. Okay, so this is called doc string. So I'm removing this, that is the optional step. Okay, now observe carefully. Def, understand everyone that sir is going to define a function. Okay, so I am marking underscore init underscore. Okay, and I am passing this self. Don't worry if you are not able to understand, don't worry. Okay, so I will explain each and everything in a great detail. Self dot name. Okay, I am marking over here, my name is Nitin. Okay, then self dot age, I am marking over here, my age is 40. Okay, self dot mark. Okay, my marks are, let's suppose, 80. Okay, and I'm making one more function, def of talk. Okay, you can say anything, whatever name that you want to define, you can define. Okay, I'm passing this parameter, that is the self. So here I am printing hello, I am, okay, self dot name. Okay, again print of hello, my age is, comma, self dot age. Okay, print my marks are, comma, self dot marks. Okay, so what exactly it is? This one is the class. Okay, the name of the class is student. This one is the one function, that is the def. Okay, this one is the another function, that is the talk. Okay, or you can say the print, whatever the function that you want to, you can. Here, this one is the new concept for all of you. Def underscore init underscore. This is for the initialization. Okay, this is for the initialization. If you are coming from another object oriented programming language, there you might have heard about the concept of the constructor. Okay, constructor. So what is the role of the constructor? For the initialization of things. But here constructor is nothing, but yes, you can correlate this to a constructor. Okay, but here how I can define a constructor, this is the only difference between other programming languages. Underscore underscore init underscore underscore, that's my initialization. Okay, so this is treated as a constructor. Again, the constructor is a special method of a class. Okay, so it automatically processed when you are creating an object of this class. It is automatically processed. You don't call it externally, it automatically executed. Okay, if you are coming from the another backgrounds, so this would be considered as a constructor. Okay, this would be considered as a constructor. But here the terminology is not correct constructor, the terminology is the initializer. Okay, so we use underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Yes, you are supposed to use like this. In my first session in the context of the core Python, I already told you there are special, okay, there are special variables. Okay, I already shown you in my first or second class. These are the special variables. Okay, they start with underscore underscore and end with underscore underscore. They can start with single underscore underscore, they can start with single underscore as well. I already discussed these things, but yes, now this is the time to see the practical of these things. So here this one is a initializer and this is called constructor. If I want to correlate it with other programming languages, okay, so this would be considered as a constructor, but the constructor is not a terminology over here. Here the terminology is initializer. Okay, so keep this point into mind. Don't worry if you are not aware about this, I will explain each and everything, but just I show you the syntax for the same, how exactly the class that you are making. Okay, how exactly that you the class is made. Okay, so here, so this one is the syntax for a class and it will be automatically implemented. You don't worry about it. Now sir, what is this self? Okay, so self is just like a instance, okay, which is treated as an instance variable of a class. So I will come back to this point later on. Just my motto to show you the little concept of the classes. Okay, what exactly the demo, so you guys are familiar how you can use these terminologies. Okay, just enjoy the code, nothing else for this point of time. So you want to make an object of this class. So how I can make an object? S1 is equal to, okay, student. Okay, so this one become the object. Okay, basically this thing is called object. Okay, this thing is called object and this one is called the reference variable. The reference variable who is referring to this, okay, who is referring to this student class. So when I make an object, okay, listen carefully, when I made an object of this student class, now this one become a key, the key of your Almira. Okay, this one is the key of your Almira who is referring to this student class. Okay, now you want to process anything from this class, with the help of S1 you are supposed to process. Okay, you are supposed to process. For example, now S1 dot, okay, with the help of dot I want to process this talk. Yes, you can process this talk. As I already told you, it is automatically implemented when you make the constructor. Okay, when you make the constructor, okay, when you make the object basically. So this one is automatically implemented. You don't need to do anything specially for this concept. So this init method is automatically instantiate when you make the object. And when you make the object, definitely you are supposed to pass into the reference variable. So with the help of this reference variable, you are supposed to process the methods of this class, and the method of this class is talk. So what exactly happen when you make a constructor? There is a variable name who get the value Nitin. There is a variable age who get the value 40. There is a variable Mark who get the value 80. And what is this self, sir? Okay, as I told you earlier, in a class I am differentiate the member variables, okay, and methods with three categories. The one is instance, class, and static. So for example, this is the group of people who belong to the static methods or static variables. These are the group of people, okay, I'm changing the color for the same. These are the group of people who belongs to the class methods or the class variable, okay, and these are the group of people who belongs to the static method and the static variables, okay. So how I will differentiate all these? That is the important question. So let's suppose if these are the instance methods or instance variables, how my interpreter will understand? Okay, these are the object level variables or object level function. So for differentiate all these, because here I differentiate with the color. Now you can easily say there, sir, this one is a different group, this one is a different group, this one is a different group. For differentiating all these things, what I am using for this point of time, I am just talking about these instance methods and instance variables. I am not discussing these 2 points for this point. Okay, so instance methods which can be differentiated with the help of this self. Okay, with the help of this self. Now, when you are passing this self, okay, so my interpreter now understand it. Self dot name is the instance method or instance, not instance method, this one is the instance variable of this class. Okay, when I pass a parameter self into this method, now my interpreter is able to categorize it under the instance method of this class. Now you can imagine my interpreter is coloring them with red. Okay, coloring them with red. Now my interpreter understand, okay, the user, because here everything that is generated by you, here this method I have to treat as an instance method, and these are the instance variable of that class. Okay, so earlier that we simply use name is equal to Nitin, age is equal to 80, but here the terminology is little different, because the concept of the variable is same, but I am making that variables to the instance variables of that class. To making the instance variable of that class, you need a self. Okay, you need a self. So it's just like if I technically elaborate this thing, the self refer to the current object. If you're coming from this Java background, there you might have used this keyword. Here this keyword is not implemented like this. Okay, here you can use this self and keep this point. The self is not a keyword. It's not a keyword. It is just for the naming convention. You can pass your own name over here. Yes, you can pass. So for the whole program, for the whole code, if you pass over here Bhupinder, so you are supposed to use over here Bhupinder.name, Bhupinder.age, because here whatever name that you pass, so it will distinguish that this is the instance variable. So for example, for my reference, I code the red color. Okay, but you don't like red color. Okay, you don't like red color. You want to change the color for this particular group. Okay, so you use this color. Yes, you can use it. You use this color. Yes, you can use it. But here where you are supposed to pass, you are supposed to pass with this initializer. So whenever you pass this thing, because normally whenever you copy the code from the internet, 90% of code they will use this self. But self is not a keyword. Keep this point into the mind. Self is not a keyword. You can pass your own name. This is just for the recognition. Okay, but for the naming convention, in every internet code, in every internet examples which are available over the internet for specific related to these classes, they will use this self for the naming convention, but it is not mandatory that you are supposed to take the self. But yes, normally we will use self. Okay, so this is the first difference. So If you're coming from the technical background of Java, then this is keyword which is used to referring to the current object. That's mean this variable is referred to this current object. Okay, that's why it is saying the object level variables. Okay, so by using this self, we can assess the instance variable and instance method of the current object. Okay, so now how I can distinguish this one become the instance method of that class because I pass over here self. Okay, and these become the instance variable of that class. And I already told you, when you are creating an object, it automatically instantiate. You don't need to call explicitly, but here you calling explicitly talk method. Okay, the talk method that you are calling explicitly, then it is executing. But here you didn't call any instantiate method, it automatically executed this thing. It assign a name to Nitin, it assign a age to 40, it assign a marks to 80. When you call this, now it is printing task. For printing task, it is taking the name self.name, okay, self.age, okay, self.marks. Yes, it printed it out. Here the output would be Nitin, 40 and 80. Okay, so this one is the self, and I already told you self is not a keyword. Okay, it's not a keyword. You can take your own name. Okay, and self should be the first parameter. Always it is the first parameter. Always, in the case of the functions as well, in the case of the constructor, or you can say the initializer as well. It should be the first parameter. This is the important one. Okay, that should be the first parameter inside of instance method as well as into the initializer. So I think now the little picture is clear to you guys. So because if you want to correlate it, this term, this specifically this method, okay, so this method is like a constructor in other class. Okay, constructors in other class. So I think now the little idea to you guys how you can proceed it. Okay, so I'm showing you one more example, so the picture would be more clear. Here these are the static value. Always whenever you're compiling it, so always the value is Nitin, always the marks is 40, always the marks is 80, always the age is 40. Okay, it is similar like to this in every of the case, but you don't want for every object the name Nitin. How it can be? Okay, inside class, okay, if I am saying you, okay, just understand this step as well. If I am saying you, okay, so this is Ram, Sham, okay, Mohan, Rohan. Okay, so these are the student of CSC, okay, CSC class of 3rd semester, section B. So this one is the name of the class. Okay, this is the name of the class, and here the Ram, okay, Ram is the object of the CSC class. Okay, Ram is the object of the CSC. Let's suppose the CSC is a class which name is 3rd B, and here one object is Ram. Ram has its own attributes. Ram has its own age, its father name, its mother name, okay, its you can say its marks. Again the same object which is referring to this CSC 3rd class, and the name of this object is, let's suppose, the Sham, and the Sham has its different information, but that information is similar to like this. Okay, the attributes are similar to like this, but the information is different. Here the name is Ram, here the name is Sham. Here the father name is Ramlal, here the father name is Shamlal. Okay, here the age is 20, here the age is 21. Here the marks is 70, here the marks is 80. But they have the same attribute, whatever the attribute into the CSC class. Okay, the same thing. They give you the blueprint of the TV, and they made the several TVs. Okay, let's suppose the thousands of TV. Now first TV you buy, and you are setting the channels according to you, but the channels are same, but the functionality is same over here, functionality is same over here, the functionality is same over here. But this first TV is in your home, okay, the second TV is another home, the third TV is another home, but they are following the same thing. Okay, they are following the same pattern. The same thing over here. The class example is best to understand this concept. The CSC, it's a blueprint. It's a blueprint. These are the objects of the class. I just define, okay, CSC 3rd. CSC 3rd, that's a blueprint. In CSC 3rd, if anyone is coming, he has to fill out the name, he has to fill out the father name, mother name, okay, and the marks and the address. That every student has to do it. Now the students are the object of that class. Okay, the students are the object of that class. So this, you can correlate these two terms like this. Okay, so here this one is the object basically. Okay, this one is the object, and the remote is the reference variable, because with the help of remote that you are supposed to process the functionality. You are supposed to process the functionality of this TV, and this TV is belong to this class. That the class is coming from the Japan. Okay, so this one is the terminology that you can refer. So how you can technically correlate it? S1 is equal to student. Okay, this one is the object and this one is the reference variable. With the help of this reference variable, you can process the functionality. Okay, you can process the functionality. So this is the entire goal, the basic terminology, the very fundamental level understanding of the class and the objects. Okay, so now I'm showing you practically one more, one more small program which make you feel comfortable. Okay, so I'm making a folder here. Yeah, sure, you can. I didn't get your question. What exactly that you want to do? No, you have to call it. You have to call it, okay? Because that is the instance. You can say the instance method of that class, which will be object level basically. Okay, if I talk about the instance level thing, they are the object level things. Okay, and explicitly that you are supposed to call them with the help of that object. Let's suppose you want to change the channel of TV. You want to increase the volume. Automatically the volume is not increased. You have to call it. But whenever you are on that channel, okay, on that television, what exactly happened? The Sony logos came inside the picture. The first, you are not performing anything. You are just making the object. Okay, you are making the object, and when you are calling that object, okay, then when you are calling that object, automatically the Sony logo came into the picture, and you are not doing anything for that. Because that is similar like to your instant method, the instant instantiation that you can say. Okay, and when you are increasing the volume, ultimately what you are doing, you are performing some function, volume up function, volume down function, channel change function, bright up, bright down, and these are the different methods basically which are available into that TV. And how they are processing? They are processing with the reference variable, and that remote of the television is your reference variable by which you are supposed to process that channels, and you are supposed to process the functionality for the same. Okay, so I am showing you the practical for the same. So here class, okay, the class name is student colon. Okay, this one is doc string, as I already told you. This one is the optional, but I am writing over here. This class made for students record. Okay, and now I am making an initializer. So def underscore init underscore. Okay, I am passing over here self. Now I am making a little changes over here. Okay, so I am passing a variable name. Okay, age, marks, because I already told you when you are making an object of a class, okay, so Ram has different data, Sham has different data, Mohan have different data. So same I am taking a, you can say, constructor with parameters. Okay, so I am passing these parameters. So these variable will become from outside the class. Okay, I'll show you practically, then the picture is more clear to you. Okay, so here the column. So here I am making self dot, for example, these variables. So making it more easy, I am asking for three variables: the age, okay, the marks, and the name. Here the self name is equal to n. Whatever name that will be entered, that will be add into this name. Self, you can say the age is equal to a, self dot marks is equal to n. Okay, so this one become the initializer. So I am making another def of print all. Okay, print all print all is a function, and this one is the instance method of this class. And here I am printing print of name is, here self dot name, okay, print age is, comma, self dot age, okay, print marks are, self dot marks. Okay, so here now this one is the definition. This become a blueprint. This entire become a blueprint of a class. So I make a student class where, okay, so let me do practical first, then I will come back to these theoretical things. Okay, so don't worry. So what is the next step? Now what is the next step? The next step is, whenever you are supposed to use this class, you have to create the object. Okay, so I am making the object 1, that is the Ram. Okay, or you can say the roll number. Okay, you can say the roll number. So Ram 101. Okay, this one is the first object. Okay, so student, student. So this create a first object, and Ram 101 become the instance variable of that class. Not a that class, and you cannot say the instance variable, you can say the reference variable of that class. So this student, okay, observe carefully. Here I define a constructor who is taking three parameters: name, age, and m. Okay, so these are the three parameters. The one is the name, and the second one is the age, and the third one is the marks. So I am passing this for Ram. Ram, the name of the person is Ram Kumar. Okay, and then what is the age? 21. Okay, and what is the marks? Let's suppose the 80 is the marks. So this one is the first reference variable. Okay, again I am copying it and I am pasting it here. The Sham, SHAM, Sham. So Sham 102. Okay, here I am passing, that is the Sham Kumar, the second student, that is the Sham Kumar. Okay, here the age 22, the marks 90. Okay, and one more, I am making one more object for the same. Okay, here MOHAN, Mohan. Okay, 103. Here Mohan Kumar, MOHAN, Mohan Kumar. Okay, and the marks is, age is, let's suppose 30, 24, and then the marks is, let's suppose 60, or you can say the 79. Okay, so these are three. What exactly happened? So this one is a blueprint. Okay, this one is a blueprint. When I created these three objects, at that time it gets the memory. So when I compile it, what will be happen? Three different memories will be allocated: the 1 memory, the 2 memory, and the 3 memory. In 1 memory, what attribute I pass? I pass over here the name is equal to Ram, age is equal to 21 and the marks is equal to 80. This one is the object Ram 101. This one is the name of the object Sham 102. Here the name is Sham, age is whatever age that we passed 22, marks is 90. Okay, so here the third one is Mohan 103. Here the name is your Mohan Kumar. Okay, the age is, let's suppose, the 24 and the third variable marks equals to 79. So these are the three. Now you can understand this concept. So this Ram goes here in the first case, this one goes to here into here, and 80 goes to here. So this, if I rub it, so here the name in the first object, the name contain the first variable, that is the Ram Kumar, and age contain 21 and the marks contain 80. So this one memory is allocated, okay, and this is a referring to this one, the student class. Okay, and again when I create one more object, again the one more object is created and the object name is Sham, and this one is again referring to it. Okay, its identity is this student class. Again same, its identity is this student class. Okay, so now the next is I am calling a function, that function name is print all. So for first object Ram 101, okay, dot print all. Okay, so in the second object I am calling Sham 102 print all. Okay, control C, control V, Mohan 103 print all. Okay, so I am saving it, file, save as first dot py. Okay, so now I am running it. Now you will understand the output for the same. Now first dot py. Okay, so it's executed. What happened to system? Okay, so no. Okay, so I'm executing py space first dot py. Okay, so name student is not defined. Somewhere we made a mistake. Okay, so the mistake is that this one is not the right one. Okay, so the mistake is what we made, the S is capital. Okay, so make sure, so I'm making it small because everywhere I use this small. Okay, normally the first character of the classes are capital into the production. Okay, so I'm saving it, CLS, I am again running it. Now you can observe the output. Again Mohan 103 is not defined, Mohan M capital. Okay, so I'm saving it, I'm running it. Okay, so now you can check the output for the first object, Ram Kumar 2180, Sham Kumar 2290, Mohan 40 2479. So what exactly the scenario is happen? The first object is created, okay, that is the Ram, the second object Sham, and the third object is Mohan. Three objects are created and they are belonging to this blueprint. So whenever I am talking about this, here the three variables are there, name, age and marks. Okay, and there is one function, that is the print all. Same thing over here, name, age and marks, print all, name, age and marks and print all. So this function is a parameterized function. The first is a self mean the instance method of that class, and these are the instance variable automatically initialized. I didn't do anything. whatever the value I pass, they are allocated over here. Now in the name contain Ram Kumar, age contain 21, and marks contain 80. So this one information for the first object that I already discussed. The first student can be from the you can say the Ram, and he is coming from the different district. The second is the Sham, the third is the Mohan, and so on. So but they both are the part of this one. So this one is technically called the reference variable, who is referring to this class. Okay, and this one is called object, and I pass these three values. And why I pass these three values? Because my initializer is taking three different variables. Okay, so self is a naming convention that you are not bothered about it. Okay, you are not bothered about it. So it is the naming convention. The first parameter I never pass anywhere. So my interpreter is understanding, okay, this first is considered as a mark. Okay, as a mark. So it is considering as a mark. So I decided for this color. Okay, I am assuming that the self is, okay, the self is my instance variable or instance method of that class. Now my interpreter will understand where you have to pass this self, that would be considered as an instance variable and instance method of that class. Okay, so if you are not comfortable with this self, you can pass your own name, but make sure when you pass your own name, here everywhere where you are making these are the self the naming convention, there you are supposed to use your own name. Keep this point into the mind. Okay, but normally in 99% cases we use this self, and self is not a keyword. I am repeating once again, you can pass your own name as well. Okay, so I hope this basic terminology is clear to everyone. And please tell me, this basic terminology is clear to everyone? And any question from your side, you can ask me, because I am not proceeding further. Definitely, yes. The rest of the things are same. Okay, I'll show you. Just wait for a second. So let's suppose input of, let's suppose name. Okay, so you make it 3 objects, so no need. I am okay. While you can say the while so object you want to ask from the user. Very simple. I'm taking R is equal to name is equal to input of enter name. Okay, age is equal to input of enter age, and then the marks is equal to input of enter marks. Okay, marks. So these 3. So here the first variable, let's suppose the object 1 s1. I'm not making ram 101. I am simply making an object s1. Okay, s1 student student. Okay, so here that you are passing name, age, and marks. Okay, so that's it. So let's suppose I'm running it. Name, let's suppose Bhupindr, Bhupindr. Okay, age, let's suppose 33, marks, let's suppose 40. Okay, so this data is entered. Now you want to call this data s1 dot print all. That's it. So now I'm executing it. Thin image 3 marks, let's suppose 80. Now you can check. Okay, so this one is the way. The simple entire the things are same, that you are supposed to use input. Okay, you are supposed to use input. Yeah, this is our user defined. No, this one is a method of this class. If you simply call this print, okay, if I simply call this print all, it will give you the error. Now you can check here, everything is fine, okay, but here in this point it will give you the error because this one is only recognized. Okay, now you can check the name print all is not defined. Why so? Because it is now the method of this class. Its identity is inside this class. It is inside Almira, and I am calling okay print all, but print all is nothing. Okay. No. You are not supposed to call it outside. Okay. Because this one is the initializer. You can say it's a special method of the class for the instance, for the initialization of the items. Okay, so I think more than sufficient for today. So I hope you guys will do the practice for the same, and tomorrow we must have a class, I suppose. Sir, can we conduct a class tomorrow? कब फ्री हो रहे हो?